Fiona is, well, she plays Paul Raymond's girlfriend in the film, and they are together for about 7 years. So she's quite a significant person in his life. It's not just a flash in the pan or some sort of one-night stand, or even a girl that he kind of courts for a few weeks. I mean, they really were partners for a while, and not just in their love life, but also in business. So she starts off quite innocent. She's been on the dole for about 3 weeks and she can't bear it, and she thinks, I'm going to make, I need to get a job. And she sees this interview, audition even, for this play, and she goes, oh, okay, well, they need nude swimmers. I'm not too worried about that. I'm quite happy to get naked, and I do it on holidays, skinny dipping, whatever, I can do that. And she goes and meets Paul and gets the part and as this naked swimmer. And it kind of goes from there, their relationship, and they fall in love and ultimately become business partners in a way. And she starts working on Men Only, which is a magazine he does, and she starts writing as a journalist in there and doing lots of photographic shoots, as well as the kind of theatre ventures that they do. And so she's kind of a very big part of his life for at least 7 years of the film. For a young actress, taking on this role was always going to be a brave move. I mean, there was a lot of nudity, and there's some brazen qualities that you need to have to do this kind of role confidently. And I felt I felt slightly apprehensive about taking this role on, so I had to have a few meetings with Michael and have him talk me through it. And yes, here I am. But I've obviously spoken to Julia, who's the real Fiona Richmond, and I've tried to chat to her and see her points of view and how her angles on some of these scenes and scenarios that we've brought to life in the film. And I've done a lot of research. I've just tried to be as knowledgeable as I can on character, time frame, story, each and every individual that's in this film, just because you are caught off guard left, right and centre when you're filming, and so you just need to make sure you know your onions. Steve is very good to play Paul because Steve has this hedonist quality to him. He's quite happy to have a drink and have a cigarette and go out and enjoy beautiful women, and there's a childlike charm to Steve that I think Paul had as well, and it's enjoying life in the moment and not to feel guilty and not to feel worried about that, to actually enjoy life for what it is, and what if you have a hobby, take it to the full. And I mean, Steve was obsessed with cars, and it's just wonderful hearing him talk about it. And I think Paul was as well quite into cars, and we're driving all these wonderful Rolls Royces, and he's chatting about everything, all the engine and all these like knobs and whistles, and then we're in the clubs, and he's telling us wonderful stories, and there is just such a charm and ease about Steve, and obviously a sense of humour is witty and immense, and I think there must be so real similarities, but I think it is that hedonistic childlike charm with that I think he captures that Paul had as well. So the improvising, it works. I don't quite know how it works. We'll be told what the scene should entail, and we're pretty much left to our own devices some of the time. Some of the time we'll have the scene there written, and we'll know, like I said, where we're trying to end up, and if there's an important line there, we'll make sure that we hit it. But a lot of the time we just kind of work off each other and see what works, and see what's funny, and see what comes out of our characters. Especially in rehearsal, we'll just try something, and I'll find myself saying something and going off on a tangent, and Steve will go with it, and ultimately we'll shape a scene together with Michael's input, which is always horrendously spot on. I don't know how he does 101 things at one time. colourful world in general. I think it's a very theatrical world, but it's got such ups and downs, and I think, it's meant to be a comedy a lot of the time, and I think life has its natural comedic turns and twists, but also there's a lot of pain in there, and there's a lot of hurt, and you see, even Debbie's story is quite traumatic, and you see how it damages Paul, and I think that, but yet you see this colourful lifestyle that they had, and how it tarnishes them as human beings, and I think that's fascinating. And I don't know, I think it can't help but transfix an audience.